Welcome to Wisconsin in Focus. I'm J.D. Davidson. Two Republican congressmen from Wisconsin have raised concerns about how Dane County handles illegal immigrants and its level of cooperation with federal authorities. In a letter sent to the Dane County Sheriff recently, the two said they simply want answers. Joining us today is Ben Yount, Wisconsin contributor for the Center Square. And Ben, who are the congressmen and what answers are they looking for?
These are two of Wisconsin's most conservative congressmen. Northwoods Congressman Tom Tiffany and Derrick Van Orden, who is out western Wisconsin and runs all the way up the Mississippi side of our beautiful state. And they're asking for answers, knowing that they're not going to get them. Look, this is an election year. Van Orden is stuck in an election that could be tight. And so this is an opportunity for both congressmen to flex their conservative bona fides. And they wrote a letter to Dane County Sheriff. And Dane County, for anybody not familiar with the geography of Wisconsin, it is the home of Madison, the home of the University of Wisconsin's big campus. It is the most liberal city in what is an overall generally blue state. And Madison has a long history of embracing progressive ideas. I mean, going back to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, they have been a very progressive area. It is referred to by conservatives in the state as the People's Republic of Madison. And so the idea that Madison, Dane County would have a policy that doesn't allow its sheriff to cooperate with ICE is not a surprise. Also not a surprise is that when you have policies that say we're not going to cooperate with ICE, there will be people who are wanted to be deported from this country who will commit crimes, and they will fall through the cracks. This case centers around a person by the name of Alejandro Jose Coronel Zarate. He's a Venezuelan and a gang member, according to police. He was wanted in Dane County for domestic violence, assault, maybe a crime against a child. He committed a similar crime in Prairie du Chien, which is rural Wisconsin. This is Crawford County. And when it came to light that he was wanted in Madison for similar charges, there was an understandable uproar. How did this happen? If he was living in Madison, why was he not arrested? Why was this person not flagged for ICE? How is somebody who is a criminal being allowed to continue to just live and walk freely here in Wisconsin? And so the two congressmen wrote this open letter to Dane County Sheriff asking about their non-cooperative policy, wanting to know the details, the specifics, how many other people may this have involved, what other contact have you had with this specific suspect, and the like, knowing that they're probably not going to get the answers that they want or that they're not going to get any answers at all. The reason that they wrote this is in an election year, when you're looking to lock up some conservative votes, this is red meat for the meat eaters. And we wrote about it. And I think the response to it has been very much from the meat eaters who say, yeah, how is this person allowed to stay here in Wisconsin?
You know, I understand the politics of it and everything and all that goes into it, especially this time of year during this year. I don't, however, think their questions are unreasonable. I also think this. If this is the policy that you want to have, non-cooperative or sanctuary city or however you want to be, then you need to be able to answer questions from anybody, whether it's a journalist, a citizen, or two congressmen. And you know those are coming, and you should be able to stand up and answer those things.
I say this all the time. Two things can be true at the same time. And the purpose of this letter is clearly to bring attention to a campaign issue, to boost conservatives and to point out that Democrats in Wisconsin support not only unfettered immigration, but they support protecting people who are in this country illegally. That is absolutely true. There are politics to that. But you're right. Asking some of the specific questions, was there ever an attempt to alert ICE about this person who, again, is, according to police, a gang member, and according to police in Prairie du Chien, attacked a woman and injured a child during that attack? this is not something, this was not shoplifting. This was not sleeping in the park. This is a serious violent felony. And no, you're right. Now, Dane County has maintained the policy of we're not going to help ICE at all. And the response has generally been, we don't like ICE. We've got the votes here in Dane County. We're never going to get unelected for this kind of policy. So na boo boo if you don't like it. And that is very true and very political in and of itself. But yeah, the thing to remember about these, and this is what happens with immigration stories, and this is sort of the difficult part in an election year where immigration is the second most important issue according to most polls, is how do you write stories? How do you fairly balance the legitimate concerns of crimes committed by immigrants against the backdrop of the political issue of crimes committed against immigrants? And sometimes it's impossible to separate the two. But here you have a young man accused of a serious crime. He was not taken to jail and held for ICE when he was in Madison, Dane County. He's now been taken to jail and is being held for ICE while he's in Crawford County. The shame of it all. And really, the question that this comes down to is, two people, maybe more, have been assaulted and injured because of the actions of this young man, allegedly. And it took a letter from two congressmen, to bring attention to this. And that's, no matter who you are, no matter what politics you have, you shouldn't be okay with any gang member, convicted criminal, known felon being allowed to prey on people in any community. And you certainly wouldn't want it in yours. And you can't just say, well, I mean, they can happen over there, just not here.
Yeah, we may not have enough time to get into this, but so the Dane County alleged crime took place first?
Yes.
Was he convicted?
I don't know that there's been a conviction. The way this is I think that the trial backlog in Madison, Dane County is 6, 8, 10, 12, 18 months, depending on how you want to make it roll. And so this very much is the sense of this was someone who was arrested. And when you're in this country illegally and you get arrested, if the county reports you to ICE, then the federal immigration officials can come take you and remove you from the country. And that's the step that didn't happen. And because that step never happened, Congressman Tiffany, Congressman Van Orden are saying, could we have avoided the crime in Crawford County and Prairie du Chien? Could that woman have been protected if you simply wouldn't have made the political decision years ago to not cooperate with ICE because, well, Dane County is liberal?
Those are legitimate questions. Ben, thanks for joining us today. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com.